If you're looking for a budget but almost perfect bedside, desk, kitchen countertop, and maybe a side table companion, look no further. Today we will talk about the Nest Hub second generation from Google. From the name itself, yes, this is the second generation Nest Hub, the newer version that most people love that was released in 2016, the Google Home Hub, and rebranded the name to now Google Nest Hub. With the second generation Nest Hub, what can we expect from it after using them for over 7 months? Let's find out what are the things I like and the things you want to know if you're eyeing for this device. Hi, it's Art again from Few Techs Later. We've been using the Nest Hub second generation for over 7 months. By the way, we are currently running a giveaway where you have the chance to win smart devices from various brands, including one of the Nest Hub second generation we got here. Once the channel reaches a certain milestone, click this card right here to learn more about it. And thanks to Walmart for sending these devices over and for sponsoring today's video. Full disclaimer, yes, they did send this over completely for free, but that will not change our thoughts towards the smart display, and all opinions are mine. But again, thanks to them for their continued support to the channel. I left their links in the description below for you to check the current pricing. Most of the time they are on sale, so check it out. Since that is out of the way, let's go back. We had ours way back November, and first impression, I like the packaging, simple and straightforward. But before I get ahead of myself, let's unbox this and set this up real quick. What comes in the box is the display itself, a quick start guide, and the power cable. Now let's take the plastic covering off, which is so satisfying, let me tell you that. And yeah, that is pretty much everything in the box after you got one. Now, time to set this up. Please note that for the Nest Hub to be operational, it should be plugged in all the time. That means there's no battery in it, so you cannot bring it anywhere unless there's a power outlet nearby. So to set this up, plug the device in. Wait for it to load up. Since it has a display, you just need to follow everything on screen. To make it easier, first download the Google Home app. Make sure you have a Google account, of course. Then tap the plus sign from the upper left corner, then tap Add Device. Then select New Devices. Select your home, then tap Next. Tap next to this. Then next to this again. Scan the code using your phone's camera. In this screen, you can select no thanks, but for me, I'm in. Since this was sent from the US and I'm from the Philippines, so okay to this. Select the room you want to put this in. Mine is in the kitchen. Then enter your Wi-Fi password and wait for it. The Nest Hub will automatically update, so when it does, continue the setup process on your phone. You will be asked as well if you want to set up the gesture control and the sleep sensing, which we will talk about later. Once the update is completed, the device will automatically reboot, then tap Finish Setup. Now let's talk about the experience that we had with it. We'll start with the pros. Probably we will create a separate video walking you through the actual interface of the display. If that is something you're interested in, let me know in the comments below. But for now, first is the design. I like the rounded corners with this thin bezel. It looks clean and modern. It can fit to any decor, whether you're planning on using it in your kitchen, in your desk, maybe your bedside table, etc. Pretty much anywhere. The button layout, the microphone, the display size, and pretty much on the outer part of the display is basically the same, which is a nice move by Google, since most of us already familiar with how the first generation Nest Hub looks like. Second is the Material UI. Compared to the previous UI, this is actually the answer to Google Pixel's Material UI. So the navigation and the looks are almost identical. If you have a Pixel phone with the latest operating system, the cards are more rounded, the interface itself is clean and arranged in these tabs properly. It is really laid out properly for me personally. You can see that they really put so much effort in making sure that whoever bought this device will not have any issues navigating from one screen to another. Third is the Google Assistant. Still, for me, the greatest assistant you can have right now. This is not the only thing I like with the Nest Hub 2nd generation, but to all Google Assistant enabled displays and speakers. What makes this different in the display itself is that you can now interact with the assistant visually and not just by relying through voice. It will give you visual responses, which is pretty cool, and the best part is it's interactive. Next is media. Playing any content in the Nest Hub or any smart displays in general is more pleasing to me than speakers. You can play everything in the Nest Hub compared, let's say, to the Nest Audio. Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, you name it, everything are covered. Compared to a speaker, you're only limited to audio alone. Now, when talking about media, and if we compare the Nest Hub to the Lenovo Smart Display 7-inch, which we previously reviewed as well in the channel, the Nest Hub and other Google branded displays can play Netflix. Last is display and the speaker itself. Even though we have the typical 7-inch display from the first generation Nest Hub, I still find it pleasing. Whenever you're watching something on the device, despite it being small, there's no glare or no viewing angle issues whatsoever. And when it comes to the speaker, it's not that loud compared to the Nest Audio, but it's pretty decent and I never had any issues with it as well. The vocals and the dialogues are clear, instruments are deep, and overall great experience for us. Now let's talk about the only con that I experienced the entire 7 months that we had this. And that is the restriction, which is only based on your location. You may not experience this if you live in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and other similar countries. But since I live in the Philippines, I was not able to maximize the full potential of the Nest Hub 2nd generation. Now the issue to be exact is that when the device is being used to a country that is not supported by Google, for example in the Philippines, most likely you will have the same issues as mine. For some, the reason they get the 2nd generation, especially if they have the 1st generation, is either they want to take advantage of the Soli Radar, which allows you to control your media using hand gesture and sleep sensing, where it tracks how you sleep even though the display doesn't have a camera to monitor. Well, we cannot really do anything about it. So again, bear in mind that if you're trying to get the 2nd generation Nest Hub from a different country delivered to your country, which is again not listed to Google's website, Soli Radar technology is currently disabled until further updates. We don't have the exact time frame yet, but hopefully soon. That means no sleep sensing, no gesture control, again until the new update is rolled out. But as of making this video, it's still not available. I know it's kind of disappointing, especially if you already received yours, but only to find out that the feature that Google is bragging about will not gonna work. Well, you're still not missing so much. Again, these are case-to-case basis. We have different ways why we purchase something and what are the intentions behind it. But for me, I never intended to use sleep sensing since we are actually happy to our Lenovo Smart Clock in our bedroom. By the way, we have a separate video about it as well. So if you're interested, again, click the card right here. Now, the only thing I'm actually looking forward to is the gesture control. Watching videos from Netflix, maybe YouTube, or playing songs from Spotify, or listening to podcasts, it's really handy to just simply wave your hand to pause, skip, and play those media without talking to your assistant or by tapping the screen, which is kind of mind-boggling how you can play or pause your media by just tapping the air in front of your display. But again, that is currently not operational. Hopefully, Google will release those features to more countries. But yeah, until then, what do I think? If you never had a smart display before or a Google Assistant enabled display to be specific, the Nest Hub second generation is still a good buy. Yeah, there are downsides, but overall, for us, it's just great. It's responsive and fast, but if you already have the first generation Nest Hub, I don't suggest getting the second generation if it's not discounted. But most of the time, Walmart and other retailers are on sale. So if it's around $50, get one and you will not be disappointed. So yeah, there you go. That's our long-term review of the Nest Hub second generation from Google after using it for over 7 months. Again, if you want to pick one up, link is available in the description below. That is actually an affiliate link, and by purchasing one from it will help the channel without you being charged extra. Thank you. So it's Art again from Few Techs Later. Thank you so much for watching and see you in our next video.